Well, look who popped in just in time during the intro.
I may never
just
be
so you
on
know, it wasn't me.
I may never be on time, but I'm always in time.
Okay.
What's up,
Hi, Kyber Cave production family. I hope you're all doing well this evening. I've been chatting with a letter. Swisted has requested, hey, where's that podcast where you record on the sequel trilogy, like people's takes on it and stuff? So like I told him, hey, is there wanting like a 3-part series where there's an outline of each movie and then you kind of discuss the different takes that have been taken on it. I had $20 on Super Late. Oh, I'm so sorry, Swisted. Sad. I hope you're all well this evening. Metso here, back for another evening of Saber Rattle. I was solo last week, but not this week.
You were sounding a lot better.
I am. I have barely, like, compared in the last week, I've barely coughed. And so that's yes, it took a long time for the cough to like really start going away. And my voice is almost completely back. There's like every now and then like a little bit of a cough, just depending, but that's why I have my water. So I can do that. You might see me dripping a little sweat because it is hot in my office and I can't open the window because our neighbors are having an awesome sounding pool party that I'm not there for.
Wow.
So, but it's loud enough that I don't want to open the window and have the sound coming in. So you might see me. I have a fan, so you might see me like fanning while talking to Van. Fanning while fanning. All right. So
really quick to answer Cam's question.
Yes.
Silver Age was fantastic. We had I met, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot her name. I met one of the Jedi Masters. And of course Stephen Constantino was there. He was a good friend. It was a really good show. All in all, people had a great time. Dave Hawthorne, they added this is how old I am. What is it called? The VRing? What is it? VRing where like it's not the host, but it's the like a caricature of them.
VRing?
Is that what it's called?
No.
What is it called?
Like you're talking about just someone doing a caricature of someone?
No, like when you do like what we're doing right now, but except for their own face, they use like a cartoon.
Avatar,
but there's like a VTubing. Thank you.
Oh, VTubing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he added like VTubing to the convention. So there were some famous, I guess, VTubers that were there.
Yeah. There's some really, really famous ones out there. A lot of people don't really expect VTubing to be big, but it's growing. I think even more now.
Yeah.
Than it had.
So that's the cool thing. If you ever get out to a Colossus Girl show, Colossus Girl, they're moving out of California just because there's so much competition here. But he does a great show in Idaho. He's got like 2 shows. I think that he does in Oregon, Washington, and his big show in Reno every year, which we attend, which is always fantastic. But Dave and Marina, if you haven't had a chance to get out to the show either as a vendor or as just somebody hanging out at cool cons, those are really fun ones to get out to.
Nice.
And next weekend, for those that don't know, we will be at another one of Colossus Girls. We will be in Medford, Oregon this weekend. So just a reminder.
So you're telling me that I'm solo next week?
I'm letting you know now.
You're letting me know now. See if we can find someone to hang out with me. My goodness.
That's right. That's right.
All right, guys. Well, let's move on with our show. First things first. That is the wrong one. That is the correct one. It is time for the nerdy news. First on the nerdy news, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive loot. Ooh. You see that? There's a Tamagotchi. It's a Darth Vader Tamagotchi. Ooh. First up in our nerdy news, Star Wars is headed to San Diego. It was headed to San Diego Comic-Con with a galaxy of exclusives, including Black Series figures, collectible pins, and limited run comic book only available at the convention. Fans attending the Lucasfilm Pavilion can also score Celebration Japan themed merchandise for some first look prizes. You can check out the article written by Dan Brooks on StarWars.com. It is linked in the description, but also for our peeps, I will pop it into the chat in just a moment. So that is your nerd. What do you think of the cool stuff on there, Van?
Do you remember Tamagotchis back in the day?
Oh heck yeah, I had those in junior high. I had a puppy. and it was purple. Like the case was purple. But just know that there's a Darth Vader one. Like, what are you supposed to do to take care of it? Do you take Darth Vader on a walk? Do you play ball? do you have to make him use the Force to keep it up or something?
A few years ago when Tamagotchi was coming back, they released an R2-D2 one, and at first, the one they released was like a collector's item that was like super expensive, and they released like a more moderately priced one. What's up, Raph?
Okay.
So I know this is the first time Tamagotchis have been released, but this is a cool one, and I'm excited. Yeah. You know, since George Lucas is going to be there, there's going to be some crazy exclusive merch.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt.
The Star Wars celebration.
All right. So if you're doing that, make sure to check that stuff out. That's some really cool looking stuff. All right. Next is James Gunn says casting for a new Wonder Woman hasn't started yet, but the film is a priority. In the DC news, James Gunn has confirmed that Wonder Woman will be part of the upcoming DC Universe reboot, though no casting has been announced yet. While a solo film isn't currently in development, Gunn says the iconic Amazon will play a big role in the future projects under the DC Studios banner. The article is by Boris Kitt on the Hollywood Reporter, and the article in the description and in the chat in a moment. But does anyone have an actor in mind they think would be good for Princess Diana? Or do you think there'll be more of an unknown or someone who's not quite as well known, like lovely David Cornsweet, who was Superman just recently in the theaters?
Steve Buscemi.
What?
I said Steve Buscemi for Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was like, it kind of Buscemi. I'm like, wait, who? What? Anyway, so I'm sure that there'll be lots of speculation across all of the nerd channels on who's going to be playing Wonder Woman and who they think would be good at it. I think just kind of like how they do with David Cornsweet, I think someone who's just like really amazing at acting and carries the character well would be kind of nice to have. I'm not supposed to say anything supposed to said, but let's say I've got several phone calls back from DC Studios about casting for Wonder Woman. Swisted. Are you going to be Diana?
Oh, wow. That'll be quite a show.
Exclusive interview.
I guess they would have to cast somebody young enough to be able to carry the series for the next 10 15 years or so. Same with like the Superman.
Yeah, because David Cornsweet's quite young.
Right.
Did you know David Cornsweet is a massive Star Wars fan?
I just saw that this weekend.
I saw it because of the movie release and like his interviews are starting to go a little viral and stuff, but so is like the nerdism of him. Swisted said all the phone calls have been no and quit sending us nudes. Oh my goodness. Swisted Films. I'm using your full name. Swisted Films. Yeah, but David Cornsweet's like a huge nerd fan. He was like, I think he was playing like some of the Star Wars music in his car, and he was like saying dialogue. And
right.
Talking about the time. Yeah. It was hilarious. And so I thought that was, who knows, maybe another nerd will just be Wonder Woman. So we'll see. But that is your nerdy news for today.
That seems to be the thing for Superman. If you want to be Superman, you got to be a super nerd in all genres.
Yeah. All right. So next, guys, we have James Kaiser, who is our producer for Flow of the Show. Every week he brings us a flow to premiere and feature on the show. Today is Joe Janicki, which had some really cool movement to his flow. So please enjoy Joe Janicki, and you can see his link in the description, but also in the chat shortly. And that is your Flow of the Show, short and sweet, as I like to say when the short ones get sent over. But you can check out Joe Janicki's Facebook page down in the description, or I popped it into the chat as well. You can check it out there. Comedy is a juggling vein. Comedy in a juggling vein. Okay, sorry. I totally I read that as it. I was like trying to make sense of it.
That wasn't going. I didn't have time. I was gonna run and go get my old man glasses, but I didn't even have time to run and go do that.
Man. There was a funny thing that happened last week. I'm not sure how much you heard or saw of last week's show.
I did,
but my ring light kind of like broke during the show, where the connection just stopped working as much. It was like going dark and light during the interview,
right?
And people joked that it was haunted. With the ghost game that I play a lot. So like there was the joke that the ring light was haunted. You don't need glasses to tell us you're old. I just ordered contacts for the first time in a while, so maybe you'll see Mezzo more like this soon.
Oh wow.
And not with these massive thick lenses that you can see. And I don't pay to make them thinner because they're just so thick it doesn't matter, okay? Right. LASIK would be lovely, but it's like 3,000 an eye.
Speaking of 3,000, that was a really good transition there. I want to make a note or make a comment on something. Last week we hit 3,000 subscribers, and we gave away a saber for hitting 3,000. And then all of a sudden we went down below. We dropped like 5 subscribers. So just keep in mind,
we didn't reach 3,000. We reached 2,900.
2,900. Sorry, and then we dropped below 5. So remember to keep.
You went muted. I cannot hear you. Oh, okay. You want me to keep talking? Just stall, as he's saying. Stall, please, while he fixes his thing. He'll exit. He'll come back in. It should be fine. It's totally cool. Congrats on contacts. Thank you, Kevin. I've worn them before, but monthlies were kind of drying my eyes out, so I switched to dailies. But they're just so expensive, and I miss like one of the reasons I used to wear a lot of makeup on the show. Okay, but one of the reasons I just haven't even been wearing makeup in general is because I can't see without my glasses, like at all. And it's really frustrating. So I gave up on trying. We're almost at 3,000. So we got to 2,900, gained 3 over, and we lost a few. And that's just what happens with YouTube. Gain and lose subscribers constantly. As long as you're on the up, that's what matters the most. So we're always gaining. So at the 3,000 mark, I believe is going to be a bigger, like, the NeoPixel giveaway, I believe. So we'll confirm that with Van when he's back. But that's usually what happens at the every 500 or 1,000 mark now, is that's when he does the NeoPixel. But just to think about when I first started here over 3 years ago, it was 468 subs, and we were doing a giveaway every 100 subs. I think it was then, but man, because just to think about it now is crazy. Van, can you confirm whether the 3,000 mark will be a NeoPixel or not? Can you hear me? No?
Wait, I still can't hear anything. Wait, hold on.
We can hear you. We can hear you. We hear you.
I'm the problem. All right.
No, we can hear you. Okay, whatever.
Hello?
Oh,
I can hear now. Yay, can you hear me?
Okay, good. Yes. Yay. I was like, we can hear you. Because you came back, and I'm like, well, we can hear you, but you were like silent. So can you confirm if 3,000 subscriber mark will be a NeoPixel or not?
It will be a NeoPixel.
Night Vision, you're not late. We're just very, very later and earlier. What? I don't know. But it's good to see you. Thank you.
Yes.
Would it help if I bought you an SM58? What is that?
Yeah, what the hell is an SM58? It sounds like, are those legal in this country?
Oh, it's not a gun. Crazy dude. All right. Well, it is now time for our guest. Would you like to introduce our guest, sir?
Woohoo! Yes, ma'am. Our guest has been on our show before, but I think not for a long time. Has this guest been on since you've been on the show?
Nope.
Yeah, so it has been a long time since our guest has been on. He is somebody that is local to the Bay Area. If you go to different Comic-Cons in the Bay Area, you may see him. However, if you go to Dragon Con, if you go to Star Wars Celebration, if you go to other cons across the country, you may also see him. His costume is quite famous and very well known. I'm sure that when you see it, more than half this audience will probably recognize at least the costume. He is a wonderful delight. And I will say, ever since I first originally met this young man, he's picked up a fantastic. I don't know if it's his girlfriend or fiance, but Nicole is absolutely fantastic, and she does the cosplay right along with him. In fact, they have like a couple's costumes that are absolutely fantastic. So, with no further ado, please give it up for Mr. Stephen Wong.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, sir?
I am doing well. How are you?
It's good to see you when you're actually home. It seems
Yeah.
like you're always jet setting somewhere.
We're getting ready for the next big thing. 5 or 6 weeks till Dragon Con, and then even less time for GalaxyCon.
Wow. What do you have like priorities that you try to hit throughout the year, or does your schedule change every year, just what you feel like going to?
Usually, Dragon Con is my must go to, and usually, if I do come up with a new costume, it's usually for that.
Mm-hmm.
Since it happens end of summer, then oftentimes the big movies or whatever the big thing for the year, whether Barbie a couple years ago,
Right.
or that it gives people like a little bit of time to rush to get things done before then. So I do have one that I'm supposed to be working on. It's going to be an easy one, a casual one this time, but more of a funny one.
Okay. Do you try to I know one of the themes that I've seen you and Nicole do lately was like Jedi baseball players.
Yes.
Do you try to think of was that specifically for something, or was that just a fun, whimsical one you wanted to do, or?
I think it started because one thing my girlfriend is really into is sports, which she's into all of them: baseball, football, basketball, even hockey.
Right.
But I think baseball lends itself the best to.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So, you can see this is not a normal lightsaber blade. This is a baseball bat here.
I was gonna say, is that acrylic or no? That's an actual round 2 blade.
I had to custom do this.
Yeah.
It's 3D printed and then slotted on top of a 7/8 lightsaber blade.
Wow.
It had to be done very precisely because since it's effectively a sleeve,
right,
but it still has to fit within the socket. It took a little bit of finagling, and it's relatively delicate because it had to be made thin enough that it's not so heavy that it breaks under its own weight, but it's still relatively fragile.
That is absolutely beautiful. And so did you 3D print that yourself, or did you have that made?
A fellow cosplayer online was kind enough to share a file, which then a coworker with a 3D printer was kind enough to then print that for me. And then I had to assemble it and do whatever modifications I needed to make it properly fit ours.
Right.
But yeah, as far as how we came up with the idea, like I said, she was really into sports, and I wanted to come up with an idea that marries her hobby, her passion with, Star Wars. And we found these jerseys online where, it says Jedi, and then you could put your own custom name and number on the back. And then for the hats, I couldn't find an exact matching hat, so I found something that was reasonably close. Then I had to dye the coloration to make it match the shirt a bit better. And then find just the right kind of pants, because you know how baseball pants are actually very form-fitting.
Right.
So fairly pretty comfortable, good for easily getting around conventions without too much fuss.
Yeah. You don't have big capes dangling off and lots of. And I was thinking, last night, there was a Sacramento River Cats Star Wars theme night game. That would have been perfect for those baseball nights where it's Star Wars themed.
Oh yeah, definitely. Although I haven't yet made it out to, like, say, for example, a Giants game when they have their Star Wars night.
Right.
Haven't made it out to that yet, but someday.
Do you have on those? Are there any particular teams, or is it just Jedi and Sith? Are those the teams?
I have actually seen jerseys for Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I think one that's kind of more Stormtrooper based.
Oh wow!
There might have been a Rebel one. It's a little bit harder to find. The Jedi one was definitely the most common one. And like I said, because of the lightsabers, it does lend itself best to Sith or Jedi.
Right. Now, when you're going to different conventions, I mean, is Star Wars your absolute favorite, or do you do other themes as well? For example, like when you were talking about Barbie coming out, would you have done, or did you do a strictly Barbie costume or a Barbie Star Wars crossover?
Oh, yes. I mean, it was so big that year, and I did have a lot of fun with the movie, and scene that particularly delighted me was the disco party scene. Right. So I did Simu Liu's specific. I mean, there was a commercially available the Ryan Gosling Ken, like his,
right.
Commercially available, but I specifically liked Simu Liu's version, and his outfit was different, so I did have to have that custom made, and it was down to the wire, like days before Dragon Con, and so we did have outfits for that.
And when Dragon Con had come out, that movie had come out at the beginning of summer, right? So people were already well aware of the characters and the costumes and stuff.
Yeah, the turnout that year for the Barbie meet/photo shoot actually almost rivaled the Star Wars.
Really?
Meetup. And it's a lot. It was a lot.
Wow.
And that's what made it so fun that year, to be part of that zeitgeist in that moment of time that rarely comes along, where something is that big and easy enough that like many people could do it. I actually did two outfits. One was the disco outfit with the gold and white, but I also did his beach outfit, the beach battle scene at the end. So where the green shorts and the green tank top. Oh my God, that was the most comfortable shorts and a tank top. That was the most comfortable costume I've ever worn, especially in the Atlanta heat.
Oh yeah, I often said when Squid Game came out, that was the ultimate for cosplayers, just being able to go around in like just a little tracksuit. Now, do you like the more simplistic or the more complicated costumes? Or, I mean, do you get just as many compliments on your Barbie outfit as you do on your... Because obviously the Vader takes a lot more work, a lot more effort. It takes a handler to help you, do all that. Do you get just as many compliments on both? Do you have a preference?
Well, I mean, during the Barbie year, a lot of people, of course, it's like, hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie. Right. That did get a lot of attention, even if it wasn't for that I was doing a super unique, like one-of-a-kind version. My Shogun Vader character concept has been around for several years, but I have tried to change it like every year. Like every year... well, nowadays it's getting more metal than leather, so I'm becoming more machine.
More machine now than man.
But surprisingly, it's actually not that much heavier than it was. Wow. And I try to upgrade the quality of life. I recently, this year, added a fan in the throat plate, so that instead of being, it used to be, the fan used to be lower.
Right.
But now it's directly up under here. And I recently built another fan into the back to try and get the back, to try and flow over it. And then I wired it up to a USB plug, because I used to have like a different kind of plug, but USB just plugs in a whole lot easier when you're,
right.
So quality of life changes, but, of course, I've upgraded some steel. I do love it. That's why I suffer through it. Regardless how sweaty and grungy I get.
I can imagine you have your own group of fans because of that costume too. People that look out for you when they know you're going to be at a con.
Maybe, but particularly at Dragon Con, I do have a bunch of friends that it becomes an annual thing. Every Friday night, we get together and then have a photo shoot. And then afterwards, we go to one of the lobbies in the main hotels and then basically hold court. We bring like some stools, a table, some sake, and then invite people to come join us, have a drink with us, take pictures with us, chat with us if you're interested in making, one of your own. We have a good time just hanging out there and meeting people. And
Right.
Well, speaking of fans, I would like to give a little shout out. A couple of years ago, there was a guy at Dragon Con. He was a fellow samurai cosplayer. And he had told me my costume inspired him to improve his. And he had something for me. He gave me a brass samurai Darth Vader helmet, like a bead. Kind of.
Wow.
It's brass, it's heavyweight. And I found a way to incorporate it into my outfit in honor of him.
Oh, wow.
On the saya of my katana here, I have the bead.
Oh, wow.
Hanging off it. So that way,
so cool.
That's always with me. So I can't wait to see him this year and say, hey, I finally figured out what to do with that.
Now, really quickly, since you have that up there, could you show that katana again? Is that that has an acrylic blade on it, correct?
Yes. This is one of Gary Ripper's.
Woo-hoo. We love
blades,
Gary around here.
But it is not just any one of his. It is one of his limited mirror blades. He only made, I think, 8 or 9 of them. And I was one of the lucky few. So
that mirror blade is my absolute favorite Ripper blade that they make.
So you can see it's not clear that it is actually like a mirror. And it has been an integral part of my costume since the beginning. The katana hilt, I recently modified it. This was my very first custom lightsaber hilt. It's a little hard to show up on there, but it is powder coated and etched. I recently shortened the length because it was way too long for a katana hilt.
Right.
So I customized and shortened it a bit so that it's a more proper length.
Even that Suba is custom made, right?
Oh no, that is part of the original Saber Forge design. It's from the old Sith Empire. That's why it's a hexagonal instead of circular. And then I decided to recently customize the saya to be a little bit fancier because it used to be just plain black. So I added some wrapping. And to carry it better, this was such an improvement on the costume. I used to carry it blade side up and tucked into the belt. Very traditional samurai. But there were comfort issues, particularly when I wore it with the wakizashi, because then now I've got 2 stuck in there. And, over a long day, it can wear away, at my hip. So I decided to flip it blade side down and carry it. I made these custom hangers. And carry it as a tachi. And a tachi would be much more appropriate for a battlefield. So instead of being tucked into the belt, it actually hangs from the belt. So it no longer clashes with the short sword.
Excellent. You got a question here. It says, dude, your cosplay is so awesome. Were you at Powerhouse Comic-Con back in May of 2022? Man, so many of these cons blend together. I couldn't tell you which con I was particularly at. But let's see how your memory is, Mr. Steven.
Quite possibly. Because there's not too many people that do, this. There's my buddy Jose, who's also local and does a Samurai Vader armor. Right. But the key difference on his is that mine is black and gray. His is primarily black with red.
Okay,
so that would be one way to tell us apart.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen now, of course, your costume's absolutely good. Well, first off, the basic concept of this started, 10 years ago on this costume?
Ooh, I think about 7 or 8 years.
7 or, yeah. So I've seen yours, and since yours, I've seen other styles of Vader Samurai. Obviously, nothing exactly the same. When you did yours, did you get your inspiration from somebody else that had done it, or was it just something you're like, oh man, I would love to mix these genres, or what was the inspiration for starting your particular builds?
You know what? I always tell people this story. Most people have a costume and then they make the props for it. Mine,
Right.
when I got my, like I said, this was my first custom lightsaber. I picked it partially just, it was cheaper at the time than some of the other custom ones they had, but it still looked cool. So then once I got it, I'm like, well, I kind of need an outfit to go with it. So it's all because of this that I'm like, I got to come up with something.
Right.
And so, yeah, it actually is just because of that. And eventually, yes, I did see other Samurai Vader cosplayers. As I looked back at some of my old convention pictures, you know, I saw one at Dragon Con some years ago, and I just took a picture and just, you know, moved on. And then once I started doing it myself, I'm like, hey, didn't I see something like that? Oh, I got to go looking for inspiration, look at previous pictures. And
right. Wow. And how much do you think you have is in terms of hours? And I don't know if you're not comfortable to disclose, feel free not to, but maybe in terms of money, how much do you think you've put into this costume over the years?
Oh boy. Okay, I can easily say, well, I should also kind of restate that that this particular armor is actually the second armor. I had it basically remade brand new. Instead of trying to modify the previous one, it's like, you know what? I'm going to Japan. I have to be at the top of my game. So I completely had it redone. So this is technically version 3.0. Okay. So if we go into costs of just this incarnation, well then, okay, well then that's probably maybe a couple thousand.
Oh, wow.
And then if we include the costs of the previous iterations, then, you know.
And we're talking about because of all the custom work that has to be done on it, correct?
Yes.
And now I know Nicole also has like a Vader version as well. Do some of those pieces come off your previous Vader costume? Like, were you able to recycle parts?
So she's on 2.0. I'm on 3.0. She's on 2.0. Her original version was a black cotton kimono. And my very first Jinbauri, I always felt was a little bit small on me. But on her, it actually fits perfectly. Right. So I had her wear that, and then I had my new Jinbauri, and then it was easy to do a couples thing that way. Yeah. But she recently upgraded hers to 2.0. Now hers is satin. Oh, and wow. It's nice enough that, like, okay, we're not going to cover it up with, you know, the cotton Jinbauri anymore. This one is nice enough to stand on its own. Right. And speaking of Jinbauris, so now I'm on my third one because I haven't debuted it yet. I'm going to debut it at Dragon Con this year. Well, no, technically Galaxy Con in a few weeks. Because after coming back from Japan, I mean, sure, I won there, but I still saw enough to inspire me to, okay, well, I can't rest on my laurels. I got to step it up already. I mean, sure, I should have waited till next year, but it's like, no, I've got to keep this. I got to keep this going.
Right. Now, so here's an interesting. I want to come back to your Japan celebration when you were just talking about. But here's a question that popped up that I wanted to get to. How much does it cost to transport such an intricate costume? Do you have to pay separate fees, or is it like a different kind of case that you carry your costumes in?
Okay, that's an excellent question. So the soft parts of the armor can be carried in just like a large hard shell suitcase. And actually the main body of it too, because it does pack flat. So that can also go in the hard shell suitcase. But the helmet, of course, being kind of an unusual shape that, you know, over the years, I've tried different methods of transporting it, including carry-on.
Just wear it on your plane.
Currently, I have this, I think it's made by Rubbermaid. It's one of those trunks where there's like a handle on one end and then wheels on the other end.
Right.
And it's made of like a very tough plastic, the kind that you could like kick and you're not going to dent it.
Right.
The thing is, with that dense kind of plastic, it's very heavy. Even empty, it's very heavy. And airlines typically have a 55-pound weight limit. And if you go even a pound over, now you're paying extra.
Wow.
So that trunk carries the helmet, the metal parts of my armor, and it's just long enough to be able to carry the blades. Well, when they're outside the hilt, of course.
Right.
So it perfectly carries all those things. Wow. I typically, when I fly domestic, have to pay an extra $75 each way for that. It's not terrible.
Yeah, and somebody had specifically mentioned going to Japan with that, how pricey that must have been to go to Japan.
Okay, so sometimes you get lucky because the weight was under, but the dimensional size was actually slightly over. And depending on who you get, they may think, oh, it's close enough and don't check. And I was lucky enough on the way going out, they didn't check the size. So they didn't charge me extra on it. But for the return flight, they did check it. And oh boy, it was a lot. It was like almost $200.
Oh.
So, well, I try to think of it as, well, okay, split it between both ways since I didn't pay on the outgoing.
Right.
All balanced out.
What about with Nicole? Does she have metal parts on hers as well?
No, because hers is kimono based, so it's clothing. And any of her weaponry or props are basically, put with all the long props. I think I even posted a picture on my Instagram of what it looked like of everything laid out that went in the trunk, all the long items. And I made, to help make the packing easier, I made bubble wrap sleeves where I wrap it and then tape it. So that way I don't have to figure out which piece of bubble wrap belongs to which one. And
Right. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. And okay, for people that may be starting their cosplay adventure, is this something to think about? Because I've never really thought about, I often think about the costume itself, but I never really think about maintenance of that costume, like upkeep of the costume or transporting the costume from one place to another place. Is that something that people should be worried about as cosplayers, or is it just, something to think about but not worry about? Does that make sense?
Yes. Now, obviously, those with clothing-based costumes, that's real easy. Just, wash it.
Right.
When it comes to harder materials, this is where it gets a lot trickier because there's so many materials people make costumes out of. Things like metal and plastic are fairly easy to wash, just wiping it down.
Right.
Leather does take more maintenance because you do have to use, proper conditioners, and you have to let it air dry. Otherwise, it could potentially mold.
Oh, wow.
I know foam is probably the most popular material to make cosplay like armor and things out of. I admittedly don't have as much experience with that, but foam, just by its very nature, is something that can wear away over time. Right. You do have to think about, well, possibly maybe lining the interior parts that might rub. Right. And, of course, it also depends how long do you plan to use it. Many people only use their costumes for maybe a couple years before, the next thing comes along anyways. Right, so longevity may not be as important.
For you, it seems like you balance a bit of both. You bring the old and then you try to bring new ones each year, right? So you got a bit of both.
Yes. So the new costume for this year, it's an old, I don't know if I should say meme, but it's one of the oldest things on the internet. Does anybody remember Badger?
Okay. Badger, mushroom.
Yes. Yeah. So, that. It's just people are dragging content. It's like I said, it's an old thing. If people get it, then it'll be fun to dance in. It should be easy to do. Something that costs less than, I don't know, $40-$50. So it's just kind of for fun. It's just because I don't really have a funny costume. Usually it's like, oh, dark and serious, or okay, the Jedi one's kind of clever and cool, or replicating something, like from a movie, but something that's just funny.
Right. Now, I absolutely love that both. I mean, obviously, I've mentioned Nicole several times. I absolutely love that you guys are a couple that are into this. How did you guys? Did you guys? And I don't mean if you're not comfortable talking about your relationship or whatever, feel free, to decline answer. But did you guys get together and then learn that you both had this love of cosplay, or did you get together because of cosplay? Or I just think all the pictures you guys take together are fantastic. And it seems to me that she has her own passion for this.
Well, we actually met at work, and I knew the convention scene, cosplay, that wasn't something she was normally into. So, in fact, early on, I specifically did not invite her to conventions because I sort of felt like she would only be going just because I asked her to.
Right.
I wanted to just be kind of aware of that, that may not be her scene. So that's why when she finally, there was a convention coming up and she's like, oh, well, since we've been going out for a little bit, I figure I should probably go to a convention. See, you're always talking about it. Right. When she said that, I was so delighted. And then, of course, that led into, well, if you're going to be coming with me to conventions,
you got to dress up.
Maybe you might want to dress up too. And, what would you like to dress up? And, I had an idea of since I have such a distinctive thing, maybe, a female version that's more kimono based, that could be, a thing. And then that way she could get the hand-me-down, like the props and things. And that sort of works out.
Do you remember her first experience at con? Was she automatically was she shy about it, or was she automatically into it, or?
Well, I could tell that definitely it was something that, she'd never experienced anything quite like it before. And she quickly, enjoyed, like the dealer's room and just, so many things to see and, everyone else in costume. And then finally, when I took her to Dragon Con, which is a whole different beast altogether, it's because it's much more partying, it's much more social, and it's definitely a lot more crowded. She quickly warmed up to it. And, and I always make clear that if you feel like you don't want to dress up as something, or if you don't want to, come to a particular event, you have something else that you want to do, that's perfectly okay. But she's always comes with me.
Right. And you were just mentioning Dragon Con. For somebody who has never been to Dragon Con, what sets Dragon Con apart from Galaxy Con or even San Diego Comic-Con, some of these other ones that are on the West Coast that we may have gone to?
Well, the way someone put it to me was, it's like a party with 70,000 of your new best friends. It's very much a social convention. It goes nonstop for the whole time, because instead of taking place in a convention center, it takes place in the hotels themselves. So there's no actual, you got to get out, we're closed, go home, go to whatever hotel you're staying. So people are just partying in the lobbies till all hours, and some of the raves don't even start till like 3 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
So in my younger days, I used to not get back to my room till 3 or 4 a.m. And then, well, okay, I'm getting a little bit older, so maybe I'm back in the room by 2 or 1 or 2. Because oftentimes there's photo shoots and meets at 10 in the morning, or, and you got to factor in, I got to eat and I got to get in costume the next day. And it can be very, it can be very tough.
It seems like there's a lot of planning that needs to happen. You don't just go to con, you have to really figure out what your next 3 days are going to look like.
Yeah, at Dragon Con, they do have an app, and it's become a drinking game of when's the app going to update. Because when it does update, oh boy, there's so much programming to go through. They have more than most conventions. Yeah, no, easily. Because of the way it's spread out between the hotels, they have a lot of different rooms and tracks. So there's the Star Wars track, the Star Trek track. There's the high fantasy track. There's the Harry Potter track. There's the, et cetera, et cetera. So there's something for everybody going on at all hours, where they have rooms dedicated to just that fandom or just that track. And then the programming just runs nonstop. And so, yeah, the, on the app, then you kind of check off the ones that you might be interested in, but just assume that you're going to be, you're not going to make half of them. Just, yeah.
You got to really plan out which ones. That's got to be tough and difficult if you have several fandoms that you're into. If you're a Harry Potter fan and a Star Wars fan and, a DC fan.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me answer that question about the after party scene. So as I said, it's very much a party convention. So every night there are themed parties. Each of the hotels usually hosts one of them. So that means each night there may be 3 or 4 themed dance parties going on. So you have, you have the Heroes and Villains Ball. You have the 80s prom. You have the Star Wars themed party. You have the, so every night there's something different. And that doesn't include the late night raves.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a party that doesn't stop. And I do like the fact that GalaxyCon seems to be trying to emulate that somehow by having after hours, parties and, activities. I don't know if they'll be able to replicate it because, like I said, DragonCon is unique in the sense that it takes place in the hotels themselves, which allows things to run late without anyone ever feeling like, if I go out late night partying, I've got to worry about getting to the parking lot and going home and
right. Because everything's already self-contained. What about like panels and things like that? Are you still like seeing your favorite celebrities and getting autographs and doing things like that, like at cons where you used to here?
Sometimes, if it's someone I'm particularly interested in, I will make the time to snag like a key autograph. Seth Green was at DragonCon, I think about a year or 2 ago. And yeah, I made it a point that, I want to, and he was very nice, got to, talk to him for like a minute or 2. And so yeah, he was very nice. And thankfully, I feel like, okay, I have most of my collection kind of filled in. I collect mostly voice actors.
Right.
They tend to be more affordable. Plus, I love the work that they do.
Right. Do you have was there anyone that you absolutely fanboyed over?
Ooh, boy. I think, what's his real? I remember some years ago, Bruce Boxleitner.
Oh.
From, people know him as Tron.
Right.
The Tron. Not that he was in Tron. He was Tron.
Right.
Captain Sheridan from Babylon 5. I remember I was at a WonderCon in Anaheim, and I was just down an aisle, and then, kind of just not really paying attention. And then I just kind of look, and then there was this table, because it seemed like it wasn't in the autograph section. It just seemed like it was just in an aisle. And I was just I did like a double take on him, and he just smiled. He didn't have I don't think he had other people dealing with. I think because I was just kind of speechless and just kind of staring at him like he's just right there. He's not a lie, or and just. Right. So yeah, I was super ecstatic about that, where I was just stunned, speechless, and just I gotta have an autograph.
Now, as far as when it comes to you, I'm sure when you go to convention, you spend half your time posing for photos and stuff for other people. Is that second nature for you, or were you originally a shy person? Was that something you had to get used to, or was it just something that was easy for you to get used to?
No, I'm an attention whore.
Yeah.
That's something I always joke about with my girlfriend, because she's much more the shy type.
Right.
But she knows who she's with.
Right.
I am going to be attracting attention, and I try to practice my poses. And when I went to Japan, I did take a short kenjutsu, kind of like a couple hour kind of crash course class, and it was very informative. It gave me a couple of moves that I can then I can now do this on stage now.
Right.
That was very worth it. Very cool.
Hey, speaking of Japan, I wanted to talk to you about didn't you win? And correct me if I'm incorrect, but didn't you win like world's best costume or something like that?
So for Star Wars Celebration, there's a limited number of categories. There's, of course, the children's category. There was best replica, most elaborate, which I thought, oh, maybe most elaborate. That might be the one that I'm, closest to, but didn't win that. And I'm like, well, okay, that's okay. I fully admit everyone else there looked fantastic. Those that won most elaborate, spot on. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then they said, lastly, best in show. And
did you win by yourself or with Nicole?
I went by myself.
Okay.
Because we would technically be in two different categories if we were on stage at the same time. Because of my experience and the level of it, it would be considered masterclass in competitions, whereas hers would be more, since she's new to it, she would be more novice class. So otherwise she would be forced to be bumped up to the master class and then judged that way. So and also I did want to compete specifically by myself to prove something, to myself, that like I could do it. So that is also, I was kind of specific that I did want to try and do this on my own to see if I could, how I would measure up to cosplayers from literally around the world.
Now you were doing your own building. And I realize some pieces you kind of like have work sent out, but are you doing your own sewing as well and fabricating?
Well, being armor, there's actually not that much sewing in it. If anything, it might just be like, a minor alteration where like maybe like, like a strap needs to be kind of a little bit more secure, or just, kind of maybe moved a little bit. And I've had, a friend that was kind enough to help me out with that. Because sometimes things are trickier than they seem. Like just moving a strap down. It's like, just cut the threading and move it down. Then it turned out to be way more complicated than we imagined. So yeah, there's not too much sewing, at least on this particular build. But typically when there is, like I know when to, if something's outside my skill set, I know when to outsource.
Now on Nicole's, is she a builder herself, or are you making her stuff, or is a lot of that getting outsourced?
I typically do the planning for hers. She lets me take lead on that because since she's mainly doing it just to, do something together as a couple. She typically wouldn't have like an outfit that's just kind of completely on her own. So we typically do it together. So whatever research I do, for example, the baseball thing, that, obviously it's much of the same parts. So it's like, okay, then I just order two. She is sometimes, if hers does need minor alterations, then, she's capable of, handling some of those, or depending on the aspects, if it's something that requires hard parts, like lightsaber type stuff, then obviously I would handle that. Something I did, I should have kept hers here because she just left a couple hours ago. But so something I made as a kind of his and hers set was I made a set of matching, taking inspiration from Gary Ripper, I finally started to try and make my own blades. And I made a Tonto blade for both her and myself. And that's gonna just blow up.
That's beautiful etching in there.
So I hand carved these. They're actually Sith runes.
Oh wow!
I found online just like a Sith alphabet. And hers on one side says Empress, and then the other side says Vader, and then mine on one side says Shogun, and then the other side says Vader. So it's a his and hers Tonto set, and the hilt itself is also part of a his and her set. I had made a Saber Forge, customized a Saber Forge hilt that I gave to her for Christmas, presented in a nice presentation box. I did inlays, gold, to fill in the etchings, and gemstone setting in the pommel.
Wow.
And then shortly after, she got me the parts to make a Valentine saber for myself. So this is my short hilt, which I would use for either my tanto or my wakizashi, depending on what I wear for the day. I used abalone shell inlays and
beautiful
actual katana. They're called menuki, which are these little metal pieces that go under the lacing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we have a kind of his and hers kind of weapon set.
That is absolutely gorgeous. Do you guys have any, do you guys as a couple, either individually or separately, do you have more things that you're working on now, preparing for the next Dragon Con that's brand new, or are you kind of updating what you have?
Updating what we have, because since we updated it mainly for Celebration in Japan, her kimono is brand new, so has not been seen at Dragon Con before. And like I said, this version of my armor, while looking superficially the same, really the only thing left over from the previous armor are the thigh armor and the helmet. And even the helmet is not the same because I made brand new throat plating.
Wow.
So it is basically brand new, even though it looks similar because it is the same character concept.
Right. And when you said Dragon Con's at the end of summer, that's the next big one that you have that you're preparing for, correct?
Yeah, if you don't include GalaxyCon San Jose, which is mid-August.
Well, is that your favorite West Coast one, San Jose?
Well, I think GalaxyCon's really only been around for a short time, so it's a toss-up between that and Fan Expo in San Francisco in November.
That's yeah.
I do think Fan Expo like 2 years ago was just amazing, but I do sort of feel like last year was not as good for. It just didn't have the same vibe to me for some reason.
Right. Well, 2 years ago they had Mark Hamill.
Yes.
I think Ewan McGregor. They had a huge lineup 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably was a fairly big part of it.
Is this something you can see doing until you're an old man? Do you think if you had kids that you would like to take kids to cons and do a whole family cosplays?
I'm already an old man. I mean, strictly speaking, I am literally as old as Star Wars itself.
Wow. Okay. You just aged really well.
Well, I mean, a nice thing about doing something that covers up is no matter how old and gray I get, it still looks the same.
That is true.
But I do like the fact that I can wear this to so many places. Like I could wear it or have worn it to like Renaissance Fair, Cherry Blossom Festival. It just works on a number of levels.
Oh, wow. Well, I didn't think about it for Renaissance Fair. That's fantastic.
Yeah, because strictly speaking, the samurai were around during the Renaissance period. It's just
right.
They never say, oh, it's got to. Well, I don't think they usually say it has to be that time period in that part of the world. They didn't say, what's going on over there.
I'm sure. I mean, I know you get amazing response from Star Wars fans, but people that are not Star Wars fans, how do they tend to react to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if people didn't get exactly what I was going for, a lot of people like just how elaborate it is or just how interesting and cool it is. Although, ironically, the baseball outfit, as simple as it is, we have gotten some people that had like these amazing reactions to it because they thought the idea was like just, oh, this is so clever. That's so cool. And they're big sports fans.
Right.
And it is one of those kind of costumes where the more people that do it, the cooler it looks. Because then it looks like,
now you can have a team.
Yeah. I do remember at Dragon Con last year, for Star Trek fans, particularly of Deep Space Nine, if you remember the famous baseball episode of Deep Space Nine, the Deep Space Niners, they had a baseball team. And there was a whole group of people that did the Niners at Dragon Con. So we had a blast taking pictures with them because like, oh, baseball team from the rival franchise.
Right. Do you have your eyes on other sports that you can cross over?
Ooh, I do kind of.
How about Harry Potter and hockey?
Well, you know what? I already have seen at Dragon Con, because like all the most original things show up there. There was a Quidditch Jedi team.
Wow.
A Jedi Quidditch, Oh wait, no. Maybe I was wrong on that. I think it was actually Star Trek and Quidditch.
Oh wow.
Or maybe I did see both. I mean, like I said, I see so many original things there over the years that. Because I remember that because the brooms had nacelles off them, like Federation Starship nacelles off them, and I'm like, okay. And the colors of the robes were like, oh, command red, and then gold, and I'm like, okay.
Right. Do you remember offhand, besides something like that, do you remember a cosplay that just tickled you pink, that you were just so like, oh my god, that is like the cleverest thing I've ever seen?
Oh my gosh. Because every year at Dragon Con, I'm seeing something new and different that literally does, make me think that. And but because there's so many over the years, I would struggle to come up with like a single specific one. I mean, and that's what I love the most. I mean, more than the super accurate replicas, it's the ones that are like did a clever pun, or I remember one year seeing this guy that had something that looked kind of like a spacesuit. And I'm like, that looks real familiar. And then I realized, oh my God, that's from the obscure 1980s movie Robot Jocks.
Wow.
You know that movie? Are you old enough to remember that movie?
Yeah.
It was almost like a precursor to Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
And it was all stop motion. And the guy did that outfit. And it was like really accurate. And I'm like, dude, I get you. I know exactly what you are, and I'm sure he was probably delighted that someone recognized what he was doing. And I was delighted someone ever thought to do this obscure movie. And
that's gotta be the good feeling ones, when you do a really obscure reference and people still get it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you are working on or that you're looking forward to? Not necessarily like for Dragon Con, but for like next year's, or do you kind of do you wait for new IPs to come out and see what catches your attention?
Well, I always wanted to avoid the pressure of having to come up with something new every time.
Yeah.
Especially when I have such a signature outfit that I enjoy just more upgrading.
Right.
And that I, enjoy wearing and committed so much time and energy into, putting together. So, it's only if something. So I don't want to do something just because it's popular. I want to do something that really tickles my fancy.
Right.
K-pop Demon Hunters. I would love to do the Saja boys. But it's like, oh, then I got to do makeup, and then I have to do that in a month and a half, and I'm like, oh, it's too much pressure.
Right.
So I'm just going to come out, do my funny little Badger costume. It's cheap. It should give people a laugh. Mm-hmm. And then we'll see what, it's like what comes out next year, if anything tickles my fancy, or maybe if I come up with just another goofy idea of like, oh, well, that Badger meme thing was fun. Maybe I could do a different thing.
So now that's an interesting question. Do you do these primarily for your own personal entertainment, like, oh my god, this is going to be so much fun to do, or for other people's entertainment, like, oh, I wonder if people are going to recognize, this character, or, do you think it's primarily for what the reaction you think you're going to get, or because you want to do that character?
I would say easily because I want to. And a good example is I spent a lot of work on this one particular costume that is so niche that even with fandom itself, I don't know that it would, because it's a character design that only appeared in one episode for like 30 seconds, 20, 30 seconds. And I was so taken by the design, like, oh, this is so cool. And I spent all this time, like, bending plastic and painting and cutting foam and buying like a helmet just for that. And, doing all this and that. And then I'm like, I really only wore it a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And it's something that no one would really recognize. And I would have to really explain it. But it did look cool, I think, because it had armor. armor, a helmet, wings, and so it at least looked kind of cool.
Right. Do you have costumes that you have kind of decommissioned over the years, like ones that you just stopped wearing?
Sadly, yes. Although it's more because, well, going in with the getting older thing, getting a little
weight right.
Oh, the disappointment when it's like, oh, I haven't worn this one costume in a while. Let's get in it. Oh God, why is this so freaking you know? And oh my God, the sadness of that. So yes, there have been some I've decommissioned. The previous version armor is effectively decommissioned because in no way would I wear that one over this one.
Right.
So I've got it boxed up right now. I don't know what'll become of it, honestly. I've got a kid and I'm gonna pass it on to them, and I don't think. And I'm pretty sure my girlfriend's not gonna want to wear it just because she sees what condition I'm in when I take it off. So she's not gonna want to wear it. So for now, it's in the archives.
Right. Well, Steve, I've absolutely had an amazing time talking to you. We've like blown through and actually gone over. Is there anything you want to leave people with? Maybe people that are new to cosplay or would like to get to the kind of level that you're at. Is there any words of advice that you might have for people?
Yeah, I think just cosplay is something or some character that you would love to be. I think too many people get caught up on just trying to keep up on just like whatever's new. And definitely, yeah, it's a lot of fun being part of the zeitgeist. But yeah, I think having a connection to a character that you like or a concept that you like, I think that's the most important thing. You know, it's the whole do what you love.
Right.
More than anything.
Right. Win the lottery and hire someone to do it for you.
Yeah. Or put together a network of people, you know, many times, just like I do. It's like, I don't sew well, but I know someone that does. But something then I can do is, okay, I can work with hard parts, you know, like plastics, metals, that kind of thing. So trading skills, trading money is always good, but trading skills is also perfectly valid. If you make, now obviously don't just use people like that, but I'm just saying if you have friends that are capable of one thing, then or buy them dinner, you know, like, oh, could you kind of fix this thing on me? You know, I'll buy you a steak dinner or.
Yeah, you don't know how many things I've traded for lightsabers, my friend.
Do I want to know? Is this a scandalous?
We'll keep it legal. So for those of you that are interested, and as you guys know, our fabulous director, Mezzo, will always put the information in the description if you want to find out more about how to see Steven's costumes or even to contact him. Are you a part of any like cosplay groups or anything like that where, you know, people wanted to ask you advice or anything that like they might join a group?
Not really. I do have a group it's specific to Dragon Con, the Samurai Star Wars group called Galactic Shogunate. On Facebook, and it's just us friends that we met there, and to plan out when we get together, and sometimes if we see like, oh, here's a deal on like some new katana thing or very samurai related things, that sometimes we share information there. But it would be a good place that if you're interested in this specific type of cosplay, that I'm sure we could probably chat and figure something out.
Excellent. Steven, it is always a pleasure seeing you. I've loved. I'm fortunate enough that Steven lives here, close enough in the Bay Area that when we've had a couple of events at our store, Steven has come out. I think you even won one of the costume contests that when we did a grand opening in Fairfield. So I'm very fortunate that I get to see you in your fabulous costume. But for people that might want to see more, there is a link right here to the Star Wars Celebration 2025. And I'm sure that will have more pictures for people to check out. Steven, thank you so much. It is an absolute pleasure, as always, talking to you. I wish you the best. Have a great time at Dragon Con, and hopefully I will see you at GalaxyCon.
Yeah, I will see you then. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care. Give Nicole our love.
All right, will do. Bye, everybody.
you see that picture with Ashley?
Oh, no, choked.
You all right? Please don't choke.
Too late. I like choked on my own spit right when I went to breathe in to say something.
Oh my god. Dude, there was that great picture of Steven with Ashley Epstein right at the end. Ahsoka Tano. Yes.
That one. I put all the pictures still like you asked me to.
I know, and I keep forgetting to ask about it.
I always put them there, and I have to remove them one by one every week.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
That you don't know, Metz is a fantastic director. She does so much work behind the scenes. We are very fortunate to have her here. All right. That was Mr. Stephen Wong. Make sure you get out to GalaxyCon and Dragon Con if you were there to see him and Nicole. Fantastic people.
Yes, the fantastic. I really enjoyed that interview. That was a lot of fun to listen to. So thank you, Mr. Wong, for coming on our show. Yes, I put the article in the description below of him winning the best show at Star Wars Celebration. His Instagram is also in the description, so you can see a lot of pictures there. There are different ways to support Kyber Cave Productions, and you can start with going to kybercave.com and buying yourself a saber. You can go to kcpmerch.com and buy some merch from us. You can also go to patreon.com/kybercaveproductions, and you can sub for as little as $1 a month to help support the channel. Another way you can also help is YouTube. We are partnered with them, and you can actually donate straight to the channel with YouTube Super Chats. So those are different ways you can help support us. And just subscribing and watching us is also wonderful because, you know, what's nice is seeing your names in the chat every week. That's probably the best part. Right.
And
so thank you so much.
Seeing you in real life after seeing your name in the chats, like our buddy Duran.
Oh gosh, that was probably one of my absolute favorite moments of the over 3 years that I've been with the channel is meeting Duran. That was probably one of my favorite moments. Like we're like, hey, I'm Duran.
Yeah, we were treating him like he was a celebrity.
Yeah, we were like more excited for them than like anyone would ever be excited to see us. Probably. It was funny too is when I did VacaCon and I sat there for the channel, I came across more people that I know because it's my hometown,
right?
Than fans, I would say, you know,
right?
People, even though you got to I got to put my foot in the mouth and you got to shove it in my face. A couple people asked for the autograph.
Hey, I'm out of your autographs. Twisted says, I'm not seeing a button for super chat right now. Is that something? Where would that?
Okay, hang on. I've got. Interesting. I have the stream open on my other side, and I see what you mean. Maybe something for some reason wasn't enabled, but I'll have to check that and I'll get it fixed by next week.
We will look for it. That'll be helpful when we have some of our big celebrities on. Maybe that will help us raise a little income. Just so you guys, for those that may or may not know, this show is brought to you every week. I pay for the streaming service through our profits that we make at Kyber Cave. Miss Mezzo here is paid from our Patreon. So when you see all those fantastic people that help out our show at the end of every show, those are who is helping pay for some editing time for some of the work that Mezzo does. And to be honest with you, it is not nearly enough. She does a lot more work than she gets paid for. So if any of you could, I know times are getting tougher and tougher, but if any of you guys could help out, even $1 a month helps towards this show. And you get cool merch too when you do.
Yeah, super chat. That's what we're talking about. Say Wong. I know it's been on there before, because we have received super chats in the past.
Yeah, I know.
Basically, it's like a straight little donation, and then Graveyards did it actually before too. It's like a straight donation to the channel. It goes towards our revenue on the actual channel itself, so it's not something you directly get. So if I check,
by the way, okay, there it is. While we're stalling here, for those that don't know, I am wearing my distance nerding hat. Make sure to check them out. Any place that you get your streams, they are all over the place. They've had some really cool guests, really cool interviews. I know they just had a Gilmore Girl reunion interview recently. That was kind of cool.
Okay. Let's see. I think I fixed it. So I'm going to refresh my page. And
YouTube takes 30% of the super chat.
It may be yeah, I understand that. It may be that it starts on the next broadcast and not like right away. Because I just refreshed and it doesn't show the option for it. But I'm not going to worry about that now. Because it's time for something else, guys.
Dun, dun, dun.
What is it that we do? Dun, dun, dun. It is time for
that
character.
Oh, what the music we even got too?
Yeah. All right, guys. I will tell you that I think tonight's characters are probably a lot easier than others. Especially this first one.
Okay.
Who do you think that is?
Oh. Wait a minute. Did I get it right?
It is. Yeah. I think it was pretty easy. Wanda Fett by Swisted, Say Wong and Cam say Ray. You spelled it correctly the first time, Say Wong. Yes, it's Ray Skywalker, but I spelled it wrong. I spelled it wrong because I'm overworked and tired right now. I have a lot of you guys know that I do work for my church, and this week is Vacation Bible School, and I'm in charge of all the graphics and like taking pictures and the slideshow and more. So it's always like a ramp up the day before. All right, next. Who's this? But I feel like I made it easier.
Okay, just because you said this is easy, I think my answer is gonna be wrong. But let's see, because I don't think this is a character you would know.
That is not that character.
It is not that character.
Man's wrong, folks. He's wrong. Twisted say Ray Palpatine. Say Wong says Finn. Cam Samretta, Jedi in the background. Prune Face. Who is Prune Face? Is that supposed to be Palpatine? What do you mean? Oh, Ray Palpatine. I see what he's meant. I'll give you a couple more moments to guess.
I can't remember the
last
name.
Man. You're wrong again.
Okay, fine.
This is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my goodness! Space Jesus. How did I get it
I
wrong?
almost wrote underneath, not Jesus. Yeah, it is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't feel like I needed to give a bio for those characters because they're main characters of the storylines. Yeah, who's this Ray? But Obi-Wan Kenobi, everybody knows. It's Ewan McGregor. Come on. So that is your guess that character for today. So thank you so much for tuning in. Is there anything you want to tell them about this week? Like maybe we can talk to them about Retro Alcove.
Retro Alcove. Yes, make sure to check out all the other the other shows that we have running on this channel right now. Retro Alcove comes on every Monday. Just at random times, right? It doesn't have a specific upload time.
So the aim is for around 5 o'clock Pacific, but sometimes it just depends on Graveyard's availability to get it out quickly. But it is always on Mondays, Retro Alcove, where Graveyard plays a retro game, which usually means 25 years or older. Wow. And he's got a huge, if you look at our old shorts, there's actually one that shows a ton of his selection of like all the consoles and the controllers he has. It's pretty epic looking. So if you guys want to check that out, you can go through the old shorts and there's some there. And if you want to just for the fun of it, check out our shorts because there are some, I was taking hilarious moments and throwing them up on there. So
we got to get the celebrity short clips.
I know. I know. I know.
We also have Multiverse of Cosplay, and Sage is doing a video run of.
Well, Sage did a video run of Final Fantasy. He was a short-term intern on our channel, but just as life is, with teenagers, other things they don't always control their own life either, and things kind of change, and he's not able to make content for us right now. I'm not going to rule out him coming back in the future, but if you guys want to check that out, he did a Final Fantasy 1 playthrough of it. So go ahead and show some love over to him anyway, and he can see that later.
Say, Wong, are you going to San Diego Comic-Con this weekend?
Ooh.
If so, let me know. And especially if you're going to George Lucas's table, I might have to send. I know it's going to be a crap load of money for autographs, but I may have to send you. I can't even. Mark Hamill was $450. I can't imagine what George Lucas's autograph is going to be.
Hurts hearing that. That really does.
But if there's one autograph I've got to get, my favorite. Okay, I shouldn't say my favorite one because we've met so many cool people, and in fact, that's something I started doing now. For those that get a chance to see Kyber Cave while we're live on the road, one of the things I started doing is I have a book now that shows all the autographs of people that have either come into our store, been on interviews with us, or there's a couple of people that we've just randomly met at conventions that have not been in the store or on the episodes, but I just had it. Like Weird Al. You cannot pass up a Weird Al autograph.
No, cannot. He's an awesome dude. I have several. I've got a couple from Fernandez, who passed away. Yes, Alan Fernandez. And then I've got Verona Blues. I've got several things you've brought me from cons.
I still have one more from you for con too.
And I've got several things. And I've also got I still actually have I had a few left over. When we did KyberCon 3, and we had John D. Michaels, Alan Fernandez, Eric Voss, Tommy Bechtold, like we had all these guys there, and I still have a thing that has all their signatures on it.
The poster that had
it was like it has each one of them on there. I still have a couple of those.
Yes, that one's a really cool one. I have that one in our autograph book as well.
Yeah, I have that. So I need to when I'm still in the middle of kind of redoing the office and getting rid of things, and I need to find a good spot, maybe even redo my all the decoration on my wall, because if you could see up on the wall, there's a bunch of stuff above me on that wall. Kind of rearrange to kind of fit more of the autograph stuff there.
Woohoo! Yeah, I like having all of ours in a book. The only one that I don't have in a book is this one that's personal for me. And then also this last weekend at Reno, we saw Floydman there, who we've actually interviewed before. And he had a poster that said the van thing. So I had him autographed that says to van and then van thing. So that one I had personally done for me, but all the other ones that I have are done to Kyber Cave.
That's pretty awesome.
We've got more than 30 autographs to Kyber Cave, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's pretty spectacular.
Woohoo! All righty, my friends.
Thank you so much for tuning in this week to Kyber Cave Productions and checking out our interview and hanging out with us, guessing characters, watching the flow of the show. It's all a lot of fun. So we will see you next week.
I will not be here next week, but you will have our fabulous director Mezzo here in the house with you. And maybe possibly if there's anybody else is available, Aubrey or Aaron or Matt.
We shall see. All right, guys, have a lovely evening. We will catch you later. Bye.